So when did you start being politically active?
So at first, it was actually just a community service. So in Westmore, to be able to like graduate with recognition, you have to have like a certain number of community service hours. So I was looking for an organization to volunteer at. So I found the Filipino Community Center in San Francisco, and I started volunteering there. As a tutor, I tutored middle and high school students on SATs, different classes in schools. And as I do this tutoring, I was also able to sit in some educational discussions and workshops on Filipino history, Filipino culture. And I think my experiences with the youth there really opened my eyes to like questioning why did I have to leave the Philippines in the first place? Why did all this youth have to leave the Philippines in the first place if there was a better education system in the Philippines? And even connecting that to my parents, like why did my mom have to move if there were jobs in the Philippines? Same with other Filipino families. So I think when I started asking that question of migration, of why are we forced to leave the Philippines, that's the question that really politicized me. And because I think migration is very political, like questioning the system in the Philippines is politics.
I know your mom is active too. Did you influence her or did she influence you?
I think growing up, of course, like she will tell me her political views. She trained me with like how do you deal with different kinds of people. So I think in that way she heavily influenced me with being open to to relating not just with well-off people but also with those who are needy. So in that sense, I think the part of her of like really passionate about giving back to the community has influenced me. And but as I grow older, it's really me who's gonna decide what I want to do. And I think at first I was questioning like, am I only doing this because my mom also was doing it? But I realized that even though my mom's not doing this, I would still do it. So now I know that she has influenced me heavily, but it's also my own decision to continue doing the work that we do.
Was she active in the Philippines too or just here in Daly City?
She was also very active in the Philippines. Actually, she started as an activist in college. The story is very cool because she was just drinking like a plastic of soft drinks and eating sandwich in school, and there was a rally, and at that rally someone was saying like why is the price of this drink and the sandwich here in school higher than the price outside? Are they trying to profit from the students? And when she heard that, she actually asked for the microphone and said, yeah, that's a good question, like we are poor here and we are poor students here. Why are they trying to get more profit from us? I'm eating right now, I'm drinking this, and this is very expensive for me. So since then, she was able to do more education with those other college students, really learning about the economic system in the Philippines, how problematic it was with how there were not enough jobs for the people. Even the farmers who are trying to work the land can't even eat, can provide for the families. So I think her politicization started in college, and she became active after that in the Philippines.
What organizations do you currently participate in?
I am part of an alliance called National Alliance for Filipino Concerns, or NAFCON. It's an alliance of more than 30 organizations US-wide who promote and advances the rights of and welfare of Filipinos in the US and around the world. So in this alliance, we do a lot of education on immigrant rights, workers' rights, and not just education, we also try to organize and mobilize the community to respond to this issue. So for example, with the issue right now of comprehensive immigration reform that the Senate is discussing, that Obama has talked about, we are organizing community forums around the US to really discuss this issue with the community, because who's going to be affected in the first place is immigrants, the undocumented students. So we would like to get their input. What really do you think should be included in this reform? Should it be stronger border enforcement, or does it mean workers' rights? Does it mean like higher budget for immigration enforcement, or does it mean family reunification? So opening up these discussions with the community, because they are the ones who will be affected, and they should have a say in their future. It's not just Obama, it's not just the senators planning and discussing their future. We as well, who will be affected, should have a say.
With that, do you believe that Filipinos here lack a sense of unity?
I think Filipinos, because we are immigrants, there is this tendency of already for us to to gather around. So, Filipinos will stay with Filipinos. Whenever you see a kababayan, say, oh, taga-Pilipinas din po kayo, like, what province? So there's already that tendency to galvanize towards each other, so forming organizations. But I think one thing that is missing that could be improved is that within these organizations or within these groups, there could be more politics. They could talk more about, what's really going on in the community, not just socializing, right? Because of course that's fun and that's needed, and that's really what the community is about, right? Getting to know each other, but also not just that, but taking up issues. And I think that's where the Filipino community can unite more on what are the problems facing the Filipino community, what are the issues that are affecting us, and really responding and addressing those issues.
What are the steps you've taken to politically involve our community?
As I said before, there's community forums that my organizations organize, and also not just forums, but also educational workshops, and even events. Like, we do a lot of cultural events, because these cultural events are very broad, that can reach like wider people, right? Like, for example, you invite a group of people to a rally, and then you invite another group to a cultural event. You are more likely to get more participants to go to a cultural event, because it's just, it's something that people, like, you don't need to politicize them first to invite them to that. So, like events like that you can use to really maximize, to bring up issues. So those are things that we try to do in the community.